I would like to introduce this problem, which came from one of the old editions of college physics textbooks. Not calculus-based, but this is an interesting problem even if you are an APC student. This is a problem for equilibrium that we will have to approach from translational and rotational point of view. We are given a rod that is held horizontally with force of tension from this cable and force of friction from the wall. And there is a weight apart from the weight of the rod itself, which is described as W. There is also a weight that is hanging from it, and the question is, how far can we move this weight? Think about the further we move this weight, the greater the lever arm from this point and smaller the lever arm from this point. So we are figuring out how far can we move this before this will topple. So the minimum distance x from point A without causing the rod to slip at point 8. So force of friction right here. So right now, think about it. As I am applying the force like this, my force of friction can be downward or upward. And most likely, because this weight is right here, force of friction is going to be up. And as we start moving it down, 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 the lever arm for this, if I assign this as your axis of rotation, the lever arm from this weight and from the weight of the rod itself will be clockwise, and it's going to create a clockwise rotation, and force of tension is going to be creating the counterclockwise rotation, making this stationary. So let me complete a free body diagram. Obviously there's tension this way, weight, another weight, and force of friction this way, and normal force from the wall this way. So altogether, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forces. It's in equilibrium vertically and horizontally. Horizontally, I have Tx equal to normal force. Vertically, Ty plus force of friction is the two weights. I can also expand that force of friction is mu normal force, which will bring me to Ty plus mu Fn equals 2 W's. And I can expand furthermore, saying that normal force equals Tx, so this becomes Ty plus mu Tx equals 2 W's. Ty is force of tension times sine of 37 plus T mu cosine of 37 equals 2 W's. From where I can take T out and say sine of 37 plus 0.5 is mu cosine of 37 equals 2 W's. If you use your beautiful calculator and plug this one in, so this whole thing is 1, which brings us to T equaling 2 W's. Well, still it doesn't help me much because I don't know what T equals or TW, and X is not even in the picture, and they want me to find X. Well, where is X coming from? X is coming from the fact that rotational equilibrium is in place. So I'm going to put axis of rotation right here, and that will knock out the torque from friction or from normal force. You always try to pick your axis of rotation at the point where you have the most unknown forces. In my case, it's both normal and friction. So that will tell us that we have two clockwise torques, counterclockwise torque. Torque from the weight of the rod is W times 2, because the rod is 4 meters long, and that's exactly at half, plus W times the X, which I am looking for, plus T multiplied by. So here's the thing. You can be subscribing to lever arm. In this case, this is your lever arm 90 degrees. That's going to be 4 sine of T. Or you can be subscribing to a rod times the perpendicular component of the force, which is right here. So you can take the entire length of the rod times this component of the force, which is at 90 degrees, and that will also be this angle right here being theta. It's going to be T times sine of theta. Either way, 4 sines of 37 degrees. And then we're going to say X is going to be T, 4 T's, sine of 37 minus 2 W's, all that divided by W. And remember, we already discovered that T equals 2 W's, so 8 W's sine of 37 minus 2 W's over the W. W's disappear, and when you plug that into the calculator, you're going to end up with 2.8